It's the home stretch of the 2025 IFL regular season.
An interesting storyline when you take the reigning IFL MVP out of the offense for Vegas and you insert a new guy in Jayden de Laura, and he plays better, and he's making more of this offense for Vegas, and that's exactly what's happened in the recent going. We talked a couple of weeks back against Arizona. That was a big test against the standard of the IFL, and he passed it with flying colors. Now you come to a defense in Bay Area, second in points per game allowed, and a turnover ratio of plus 16. They love to be ball hawks in that secondary, and for Jayden de Laura, a guy who has 0 interceptions so far this season, that strength on strength that you mentioned is going to play out here tonight in Henderson.
At Bay Area, 18 interceptions, which is tied with Jacksonville for the IFL lead. You mentioned without any interceptions thrown from Jayden de Laura, Justin. That's compared to his 13 touchdowns thrown as he's set to make his 5th start of the season tonight. Think about the other big challenge will be the Vegas offensive line matching up against the Bay Area D-line. This has always been a really good stout top 3 in that D-line for the Panthers. They were second in the IFL last year with 25.5 sacks as a team. This year they're 3rd in sacks. They've also got Tavon Grant and Jonathan Ross, who have combined for 21.5 TFLs, along with Morris Joseph Jr., who at 4.5 sacks leads the IFL. Great test as well for this veteran O-line group of Desmond Bland, Kevin Toot, Moses Mallory tonight.
And I think that veteran group that you mentioned is a key that for Vegas is why they feel a little bit confident too about the matchup. There's been some continuity now for this Vegas offensive line in the past few weeks, whereas there were lots of different names coming in and out, shuffling in and out because of injuries. They've got that continuity up there, and like you said, this is going to be probably the biggest test they face this season in terms of just the game wrecking that they have, Bay Area does on that defensive line with their tackles for loss. They love to get in the backfield early, and for a Nighthawks offense that has been firing on all cylinders, how do they avoid those negative plays, and how do they keep themselves in rhythm offensively tonight?
Bay Area with 9 returners on defense alone from last year's Western Conference regular season championship team. 3 guys are still on the defense that won the 2023 IFL title. Meanwhile, on the flip side, there are a lot of new faces for Bay Area on offense, but they're not necessarily unfamiliar for Vegas. Josh Jones, the quarterback, last year's IFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. When we talk about Jayden de Laura on the Vegas side, who's one of the frontrunners for IFL Offensive Rookie of the Year this season, goes up against Josh Jones, who has rushed for nearly 400 yards already. A really good dual threat option here to lead the Bay Area attack.
And it'll be interesting to see how Vegas kind of plays that dual threat option. You know, we talked about Dalton Sneed again a couple of weeks ago with Arizona, not to the same extent that Josh Jones loves to run the football. You look at what he's been able to do through the air, the typical numbers, 23 touchdowns, 1,240 yards. But you mentioned his prowess in the run game. He's top 10 in rushing yards, attempts, and touchdowns in the entire league. This is a true dual threat, kind of like what we saw with Jerome Johnson last year for Vegas. So how does the defense handle that? And speaking of that Nighthawks defense, it's been a bit of a shuffle in the middle. We've seen Mikel Calhoun, we've seen Jamal Williams, now Cam Bright, who came on very strong with 10 tackles last week, now comes back out and see if he can handle that. And there's a big name back in the defense as well.
Yes, there is. His name is Bryce Hampton. All he did last year, Justin, was win IFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. It was a ho-hum season in 2024. He and James Caesar as rookies last year combined for 14 interceptions and 23 passes defended, while Bryce Hampton went to the CFL, but he was one of the final roster cuts by the Toronto Argonauts. So Mike Davis brings him back now to Vegas, activated off the CFL exempt list, made his season debut last week. What a nice time to come back, right? For the home stretch, Vegas will selfishly take him, even though their coaches were certainly rooting for his success in the CFL.
It's almost like a trade deadline acquisition in another sport that you'd think. Having him back in that secondary is such a big boon for this team. Obviously, you know the prowess that he has coming from the CFL, almost made that roster. That's how highly he's thought of there, being one of those final guys on the fringe. But a very nice welcome back for head coach Mike Davis to bring him back into the fold, and just another big name and another big player for this Nighthawks squad as they round out the regular season.
Speaking of big players and big names, Claude Davis, a birthday boy today, 36 years young. You don't see many 36-year-olds in the indoor football league, but yes. Once upon a time in 2013, he was in training camp with the New York Jets. He's still grinding 12 years later. Got to see Claude before the game. He is fired up. Big-time matchup in what could very easily be a preview of a Western Conference championship game. And we'll get it underway In about 5 minutes, we'll step aside. Teams being introduced right now inside Lee's Family Forum with a good crowd already in the building on this Saturday night. We'll take you through the full starting lineups for both Bay Area Panthers, who are the conference leaders at 7-2, and the Vegas Nighthawks, who are a game and a half back at 6-4, but again have 2 games in the next 4 weeks against Bay Area. We'll also keep you posted on the other Western Conference games of notes across the league tonight, and we'll do all that, set the stage when we return right here on your home for Nighthawk football, 12:30 the game.
It's our Nighthawk Sinister. Fans joining us tonight is our Salute to Service presented by True Vets Solutions. Please welcome 6-year U.S. Army Medical Laboratory Specialist, Sergeant Natasha Hughes. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem. Here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner is Beth Baden.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad strips and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets rocked their bolts bursting in air, came through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free, and my home
Back inside Lee's Family Forum, just a few minutes away from getting things started on a Saturday night, Father's Day weekend. Got a lot of red dad hats in the house. That was the giveaway tonight, the red Nighthawk hats. And we're set for this matchup at top 3 Western Conference foes. Beth Baden just wrapping up our national anthem. Captain's about to meet at midfield and get the coin toss going. It's a pretty convenient night, Justin, to be following all of the potential playoff teams in the Western Conference. We pretty much know at this point the 4 that will make it, since there's a 2.5 game gap between Vegas and San Diego, tied for 3rd and 4th, and then Tucson down in 5th. So you get Bay Area and Vegas tonight, Tucson at Arizona, and then San Diego at Northern Arizona. All 3 of those games kicking off simultaneously around the league. So I will put you in charge of being our score watcher tonight if you're up for the challenge.
Yeah,
all right.
I'll do my best. And it is fun to keep track of all those scores, like you said, because we were talking earlier in the season about would the Nighthawks be able to get themselves kind of up into the upper echelon of the West, or would they fall by the wayside and kind of be in that middling ground? And that was the case for both Vegas and San Diego, where they were kind of in the middle there trying to work their way up. But now all these teams within about a game and a half of each other, and it's all for seeding. It's all for bragging rights now coming down to the end, as we pretty much know the 4 that are going to be in.
Captains meeting at midfield right now. Our head referee, Chris Wiggins, announcing that the Panthers will make the call of the coin toss, and it comes down right now. Claude Davis, the birthday boy, he's one of the Vegas team captains, along with Antonio Wimbush, Darius Williams, and Quentin Randolph. And the Nighthawks win the toss. They will defer to the second half. And Bay Area will start with the football. Their captains, the quarterback, Josh Jones, Sidney Walker on the offensive line, Jonathan Ross and Trey Meadows on the defense. So with Bay Area getting the ball first, let's run through their starting lineups with the aforementioned Josh Jones at quarterback out of Division II UNC Pembroke. He's joined by a guy who's technically a wide receiver, Justin, but we'll see him in pretty much every facet. Josh Tomas, leading rusher from a touchdown perspective, also the leading receiver out of Georgetown. A couple more FCS guys on this starting lineup. Tosin Oyekanmi out of Long Island, his first year with Bay Area, while the wide receiving core rounded out by two Division II players. DJ Myers, just acquired this week from San Antonio out of Midwestern State in Texas, and BK Smith Jr. from Valdosta State. A couple of D2 guys there at wide receiver, while the O-line is Christian Coulter out of Western Carolina, Sidney Walker out of Buffalo, and Jamie Navarro from San Jose State. I'm curious to see how they integrate DJ Myers. He was second team All-IFL last year at wide receiver for San Antonio and is set to make his debut with Bay Area tonight.
Especially when you consider that it has been kind of a one-man show with Josh Tomas in terms of the rushing and the receiving. There is room for others to grow within this offense, and for a guy like DJ who's had so many accolades in this league, and you feel like you see that so much around the league with pickups and guys that have had success in the IFL or in other leagues. There is a lot of talent sitting out there that is waiting to be integrated, and certainly you can make an impact right away.
Ben Derby out of NAIA Kaiser University in Florida, the lefty kicking from right to left. Josh Tomas right on his own goal line. It is game number 11 for the Nighthawks, game 10 for the Panthers, and we're underway on a low line drive kick that spikes up against the far wall. Picked up at the goal line there by Tomas, ranging to his right, cuts upfield at the 5, had a brief seam, but Mike Kerrigan catches him from the side as he lurches across the 10, extends the ball up to about the 14-yard line, and that's where Bay Area starts. For the Nighthawks on defense, Maurice Jackson out of Richmond, Claude Davis turns 36 today out of South Florida, and Lorenzo Hernandez from Western Kentucky, your starting three on the D-line. Cam Bright out of Washington gets his home debut, second start at linebacker, while Bryce Hampton out of Purdue, James Caesar out of Ferris State, Rome Weber from Western Kentucky, and Darius Williams from Carson Newman, a D2 in Tennessee, start in the secondary. Shotgun snap for Jones, read option, give off, left guard to Tomas, who breaks a tackle at the 18. Trucks his way across the 20, finally brought down by Hampton at the 22-yard line. We'll see a lot of that tonight, won't we?
Oh, yeah. And for Josh Tomas, the numbers are incredible because you could really split his numbers down the middle and say, okay, this is a starting running back in the IFL and this is a starting receiver in the IFL, and they're both pretty good players, but they're the same player for Bay Area, and he's doing it all offensively and on defense. The guy who made that tackle, of course, Bryce Hampton. You know he's ready to get back into action, and he is fitting right back in early on with this Nighthawks defense.
Gain of 7 on the opening play from scrimmage for Tomas. Bay Area from left to right on the far hash. Shotgun snap. A quick sling to the left side is handled perfectly by the Nighthawk D. James Caesar just bottled up DJ Myers, and they waste no time getting it out to the newest acquisition, but it's no gain, 3rd and 3.
Not at all. Trying to get him acclimated early, and played perfectly indeed, but Maurice Jackson was almost there on the edge to get a hand on that ball, and saw his hands go into that face mask, frustrated with himself that he couldn't reach those paws out and get something to deflect it, but it still creates a 3rd down. Nighthawks there on the tackle, and a key play already. Bay
Area just 10th in the league on 3rd downs, despite being the 3rd best scoring offense in the IFL. Just underway, first drive, 3rd and 3, shotgun snap. Jones looks right, pumps, steps up, tucks, runs, gets very close to the first down marker on the left side before being stood up, and he is about a half-yard short.
I'm going faster again. But I'll probably do it half the time, but still, it's gonna be like 5 hours.
I don't understand how you miss one day of school.
What?
I don't understand how you missed one day of school and you're that far behind. Oh.
And everyone did this before. It's just they failed the test on it. Because they didn't get half the notes, so I'm getting good notes. Yeah, I already did. Yes, that's pretty good. Get up. What? No. Oh, the small charges are good.
Are you copying it? Can you print it? Maybe, did they allow that? How close are you to having the website?
Well, basically. That,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably print them, but I don't know officially. I mean, yes, I would say yes. But I don't know what your teacher will say. I mean, use your judgment. I'd say if you think so, then yes. So I dropped your medicine there.
Oh, what? That hurt? Yes. No, that's not. I felt like you could see the sun. You could see it there from now. No,
Five, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
this can't be all in one night. Did you just never do your homework?
I didn't get it before. I didn't get it.
Wow.
so clean. Doesn't.
Half of it, let's just bring it. See? 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 So just rub cream on it and wash off of it. What?
Do you think I could just sprinkle nuts into my milk?
What?